Hey friends, what's up? It's 8:02. It's your friend James Shaw. Thank you so much for choosing to wake up with us here inside of Pivot Shift Ahead this morning. It's been a great week. We've had two great calls. I think we're gonna have a great call today as well, just to help you get better at your systems. We're going to talk buyers today. I asked the question last night inside of Pivot. It was on my mind about your buyer process specifically. There's a line in the Shift book that made me think of it, and so we're going to talk about that today. We'll probably only get to hear from two or three people, but that's okay. It'll be totally cool. Thank you to those of you who participated in our calendar conversation that we had yesterday and then again this morning on our pre-show. I shared some stuff around that on my Instagram, James D. Shaw. So if you missed that, James D. Shaw is where you can find the thoughts around just having a schedule that works for you, that brings you joy and happiness and doesn't stress you out. That's what we want. All right, we'll get in the buyer conversation here in just a minute, but before we do that, tell us something good, Ira. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm sharing something really good. I put up the largest listing to date in Upper Saddle River. I've been working with these people since January, and the problem was that they had no place to go. So Byron Mims style, I door knocked in the community that they want to go, found a possible, and now it turned into a seller. We are under contract, so they have their place to go, and we are able to list their house. So it's on the market today, and it's a big one. So
Good news. Love that. Well done. Get after it. Good thing Byron taught us how to door knock on one of our calls. I love it. Adriana Rodriguez, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Well, my dad turned 84 yesterday, and he's one of my heroes. I am grateful to have him alive. And the other thing is, I called him right after Elevate. I said, "Hey, Dad, what about a trip to London?" He said, not bad, not bad. I'm putting it on the calendar." So very excited. And he is truly a role model to follow. He lives his life. He's enjoying. He's out there in California today, and then next week he'll be in Houston. So that's the life I want.
Happy birthday to your dad.
Thank you.
Crystal, you get the last one. Good morning.
Good morning, James. Thank you for letting me share. So my tell me something good is that yesterday we executed an agreement to withdraw a listing, which doesn't sound like good news, but it is because I prioritized my mental health and well-being over a listing. In short, this particular seller, he was willing to continue, but he did not think that I was doing my best because of the low price point of the home. And so because he lost confidence, I knew I wasn't going to make him happy. So we ended our agreement and I feel lighter.
Well, and you'll set him up for a better experience too, bottom line, and you feel better about it also, as well. Proud of you, Crystal. Thank you for sharing that with us. A couple of announcements as we get started today. We got three kind of announcements. First, today at 2 o'clock Eastern, John Acuff and I are doing hey, as you get to the middle of the year, how do you stay on track for your goal? Because you have a lot of excitement about a goal at the beginning of the year. You make a push toward a goal at the end of the year, but right now we're in the messy middle. And so John and I are going to talk about that at 2 o'clock Eastern for about 20 minutes. It's free. Anybody can get on. WednesdayWebinar.jamesdshaw.com. WednesdayWebinar.jamesdshaw.com. And you can go register. It'll send you a reminder. If you miss it, it'll be recorded because it is 2025. So WednesdayWebinar.jamesdshaw.com. That's a free session with John Acuff and me today at 2 that will be recorded. Also today, Sarah Maslowski is kicking off her YouTube series. It's a 4-week series. This is a paid course, a 4-week series to help you earn business from YouTube by running it right. Sarah's gotten $100 million in volume from what she's doing on YouTube. It's working at an elite level for her. So if you're interested in that, that starts today. It's a 4-week series. Will it be recorded? Yes, it's 2025. It'll be recorded. So you can go back and watch it, have access to all our systems. You'll have access to it for life if you take it. jamesdshaw.com/events. I'm sorry, /coaching. jamesdshaw.com/coaching is where you can go to sign up for Sarah's course. jamesdshaw.com/coaching. Finally, last thing, it is KW Cares Month, and this community loves to support KW Cares. And so you have an opportunity to support them. We have a goal as a community of raising $40,000 for KW Cares. I'm putting a link in the chat for that. We just launched this yesterday, and we're already at $33,129 from this community. So if you're interested in donating, with 900 people on the call, plus there's 100 watching on Facebook, That's nothing. It's a handful. It's $5 or $6 a person. If you go on and support KW Cares, we'll get to our goal. Now, if you do donate $100 or more, you get to pick the music 1 week inside here on Pivot. If you donate $1,000 or more, you can pick country. But if it's less than 1,000, you can't pick country. So if you're interested in that, please, thank you for supporting and donating to KW Cares. I'll put the links for the other stuff in the chat as we go. All right, so let's move to this buyer conversation. The setting expectations with buyers right now is super important because there's just confusion in the market. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? If you flip on the news story, you'll see a bunch of stories about falling prices and rising inventory, but that may not be happening in Grand Rapids. In fact, it's not happening in Grand Rapids. And so we have to help set expectations with the buyer. Otherwise, you take a buyer out without expectations. You can't meet them because you don't know what the expectations are. They don't understand how to interpret the market, and it becomes a big giant cluster, and it's frustrating. So we've got to set expectations. And in Shift, page 176, it says make your buyer pre-qualification and consultation time count. Make your buyer pre-qualification and consultation time count. Now, I asked last night inside of Pivot, I asked you to give me your step-by-step. I said, let's NKOTB this. If you don't know what it means, then you're just either too old or too young. But if you're in my age range, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We need to NKOTB the process, go step by step for understanding your buyer system, your consultation process, how you're explaining things to them, how you're walking them through what to expect, and how you're ultimately getting them to sign the buyer agency agreement, which you need anyway. You know, someone asked yesterday, how long should a buyer consultation be? And my response was, as long as it should be, because we need to be able to do a couple of things. A, make sure they understand the market. B, understand what they would like to accomplish. And C, get them to hire us to do it. And so if that takes 15 minutes or it takes 2 hours, it doesn't really matter to me. So I want to hear from some of you this morning. What is your step-by-step? Don't give me generalities, but give me step-by-step. How are you helping buyers? Ronnie?
Good morning, James. Thank you so much. So the first thing I use is the 20-point buyer presentation. If you don't know what it is, you can Google it. It's still out there. That sets the mindset. The second thing, you mentioned my Find and Show Homes class. That's one of the most powerful tools agents don't use. And for a little clarity, you put in the 4-bedroom, 2-bath, you put in the area, you narrow down from 5,000 down to the last thing, the last key to the puzzle is the price. When you put the price in, then you'll see maybe 15, like you said, James. And I used to, in my class, I'd always say, oh my God, they haven't even looked at the pictures yet. And because I live by the 5 max showings per day that we do, I'm only working with these people 3 days. When they look at the pictures, they may narrow it down to 10, and you only have 2 days. The key to that is their feedback. Some people mentioned the 1 to 10. I use the 1 to 5. It's called the driveway speech. When you're out, you come out from the showing, you go right to them and say, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 meaning you want to put an offer right now, 1 meaning you want to move on. What is it? They say 4 because most of them, if it's the first home, and you should be showing the best home first, they'll always give a little room. So you take that, you take a 4, you draw it in a circle on the page that you handed out to them, because every other listing that you show is going to be managed against them. That's how you get them to pull the trigger right away. And lastly, if you've gone through all 5 that day and they still haven't decided, set the expectation. This will happen next. We're going to meet next Tuesday at X and show you the next 5. Don't leave them with, well, let's go look on the internet and see, because you'll lose them.
Thanks, Ronnie. I love step by step. Nick, you're up next. Good morning in Miami.
Well, just sharing for anybody that didn't hear your share yesterday, I took what you said and I implemented it yesterday on a buyer consult, literally sharing my screen and going on the MLS and doing the search with the buyer. What are your non-negotiables? Price, bedroom, blah, 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 garage. And there was literally 2.
Exactly. That's the point.
So it worked so well because then we had the conversation right then and there. What can we, like, changing expectations? Maybe you don't need that garage that you so want. So I appreciate you for teaching us that.
Yeah, that's what we went through at the end of the pre-show yesterday, which was showing the entire MLS, right? Of Here's how many homes are for sale in the MLS. Your MLS is big, Nick. It's going to have a bunch of homes in it. And then start narrowing. And every time you enter one thing, you just reset that number to watch the home shrink. So they give you a zip code or a school district or whatever the things are, a number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, the type of house, the lot, whatever. And you do this until you get down to, 12 to 15. Then you put them on the screen, and then there'll be 2, 4, 5. And you can have a conversation. Do we need to change our expectations? Do we need to change our price point? What do we need? Or let's go out and look. And the thing I didn't mention yesterday that I want to mention today is once you've narrowed it down to that 5 or 6, we want to remind them that if these are your favorite 5 or 6, there's somebody else's favorite 5 or 6 too. Like there are other buyers who are thinking like you and wanting the same thing you want. And so, while we're not competing with every buyer, we are competing with the buyers who are looking for this. And so we need to act accordingly. Nick, thank you so much. Tanya Bird, good morning.
Good morning. My whole system starts with the buyer qualification sheet that I have, where I ask loads of questions about what they're looking for. Why are they looking in that area? If they're looking for a specific piece of property, what's important to them about that? How are they going to use it? Getting into the conversations around lending and all those things. So by the time I go through that pre-qualification and then set the appointment to go over the paperwork, they're already primed. They already have their expectations set. And then what I have done differently now that the settlement happened is because I used to be a Texas real estate agent, and we always used to have to hand out information about brokerage services to talk about agency. So I just went back to my old roots and I bring out ABCs of agency and I talk about what's the difference between a customer and a client, and then what agency we have here in Georgia. So by the time we get out to filling out that paperwork, there's no issues around the compensation conversation. And I think that really sets it up because I've given so much value up front in the prequal. And then before we get into the nitty gritty of the paperwork, I also bring the value of what it means to be a client. And so I've seen much success with that.
If you do a really thorough consultation, really help set expectations around the market and the process, and then you get their expectations about what they want, what their motivation is, and what they'd like to accomplish, then the natural next step is to choose to hire you and choose to pay you. The compensation becomes a non-issue. You know you're going to get paid and they're going to choose you because you spent so much time helping them understand and then you choosing to understand. Someone put in the chat, who said this? This is really smart. It is Savannah. Savannah said, you had your hand up, but you put it down. I'd rather ask you 50 questions and show you 5 homes than ask you 5 questions and show you 50. And I think those of you who are showing 50, not all the time. Look, you might follow your process perfectly and still show more homes than you would prefer. That's going to happen from time to time. But if you're in this rhythm of showing a ton of homes all the time, you're just not asking enough questions. Dan Tamarkin, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I just used Nikki's List Your Buyers for Success. I created an outline after watching Nikki Waldini's video that you have on Inspire, James, and it's a simple one-pager. What I love about that, and there were 2 things I want to touch on. First of all, what I wanted to highlight was she transitioned so well from going from what the buyer's needs are to the buyer agencies. Basically, she has 2 questions. What do you expect of me as your agent, and what should I expect from you as my client? And that's just a simple transition from talking about what they're looking for to what, talking about hiring me. The second part, though, that I wanted to share from just last night was you asked earlier about whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. And the answer is yes. It depends upon what part of the neighborhood. As a matter of fact, you can have 2 houses next to one another, and one is a buyer's market and one is a seller's market. And this was the script that I used yesterday. I said, Alfonso, there are really 3 types of buyers or sellers out there. Sellers that are going to price the house to negotiate, and they're going to price this house $20,000 above where it really should be. And since you're a cash buyer, if you want to offer a little bit less, it's probably you have lots of room to negotiate there. Then there's those that are need to sell now, and they're priced. They have a house that might be priced $20,000 less than what it should be, and there's really no room to negotiate. That's really a seller's market because the seller is going to have lots of demand there. And then there's the other person who's going to price it right about right. and from house to house, you can go from a buyer's market to a seller's market. And then that analogy just helped Alfonso really understand that there were going to be different strategies depending upon the house and depending upon how it's priced versus the market.
Really good, Dan. Thank you so much. And yeah, there's a lot. Inspire members, you have a whole buyer process systems thing we did. Nikki's one is in there that you referenced. Jessica Starr's system is in there along with others. I'm posting, this is the direct link. Inspire members, that'll take you straight to the buyer systems piece. That link will work only for Inspire members. If you're not an Inspire member and you click on it, it won't give you access. But Inspire members, you have access to it there. Julie Hess, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. So when I look at this, there's two words that come to my attention. It's don't rush. So time block, get face to face, and time block that buyer's consultation so that you're able to spend time chatting with them, getting it. And don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. And what I mean by that, like we have the systems and so forth, but we got to really learn to listen. And lately what I'm hearing, like when somebody says, the interest rate, okay, go 3-4 deep right there. Well, tell me more about what concerns you about the interest rate and dig down. We did that last week and we got to a point where we needed to be. The other thing is let them know like, hey guys, when you hire me, we're partnering together. So, we're going to have some, tell them that I'm going to ask you a lot of questions and I'm going to have some difficult questions. And one question is, who else is in this process with us? Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, who else is in the room with us right now? Because, find out if you got a parent that's tweaking in their area and somebody else. And James, I think what you said the other day, like this is a market, at least where we're at, it's still a seller's market here in South Central PA. Is this market for you? And Mr. and Mrs. I had to ask my buyers the other day, are we in it to win? Because if we're not, don't be afraid to say this may not be the time for you, than to be running around at 50 homes and never getting to an end result. And I love that. I started that about 1.5 years ago, setting up the search in front of them, because if there's only 3 homes to choose from, they now see like, oh, Julie, you're not sending me anything. You can always reflect back. Well, when we started, we had 3. So I just, don't be afraid to go 3 deep and really dig down and have tough conversations with them. I think in the long run, they appreciate that.
They do, go through the process and have a system and follow it each time. Help them understand the market and what it's going to take to win. Understand what their motivations and desires are, and then get them to sign the agreement and have a system to do that. Thank you to everybody who shared. Sorry we didn't get to all the hands today. Also, thank you everyone who's donated to KW Cares on this call. $33,568 donated to KW Cares. Our goal by the end of the month is $40,000, so we got plenty of time to get there. Inspire members, thanks for being on yesterday. That was awesome with Anna Kruger. Everyone else, I'll see you today at 2 o'clock. John Acuff and I are doing 20 minutes on goals in the middle of the year, how to kind of get through this messy middle time. That's free, 2 o'clock Eastern. I just emailed everybody about it just moments ago, so you have a link. Everybody else, we'll see you later. Have a good one. Got your inspiration. Go put in the perspiration. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
James.
Jane.
Yay.